There's a hearing going on right now with Gold Star families from the Abbey Gate bombing, and at the beginning of the hearing, Congressman McCall, chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said, 2 years later, we're still here seeking answers. How did this happen? What went wrong? Why couldn't this tragedy have been prevented? These questions remain unanswered because this administration wants to sweep what happened under the rug. They know they bear the brunt of the blame and they want to escape any accountability. Do you care to respond to that?
Well, I haven't seen the comments that were made I think you mentioned that this is ongoing right now. But first, let me say that the secretary and others in this department have expressed they're incredibly grateful for the service and sacrifice that our service members have made in Afghanistan and those who were committed to the evacuation operations. In terms of responding to some of the comments that were made, I think you know that CENTCOM conducted a very comprehensive, credible, and definitive investigation into the Abbey Gate bombing following the attack. Our U.S. military commanders on the ground made the best decisions that they could, that they were provided with the intelligence and the evidence that they were given on the ground that they were able to make those decisions I'm sorry, let me just take a step back because I realize I'm sort of jumbling my words here. U.S. military commanders on the ground in Afghanistan made decisions that they could with the information that they had at the time. They were fully given they were given the decision-making capability and were responding to threats on the ground in real time. And so we are very proud of the work that our commanders and our service members did, not during just the evacuation in those few weeks, but over the 20-year war. And I think, as you probably know, that we also did a very deep investigative AAR that we submitted to Congress that also provided members of the SASC and HASC committee with our findings of not just the evacuation, but just our larger takeaways from Afghanistan. And I'll leave it at that.
One follow-up question. Congressman McCall has been working on his own investigation of the withdrawal itself and the circumstances around it. You talked about the CENTCOM investigation, the AAR as well, that looked over all of that. Is it your position that there is nothing more to learn, that everything that has been learned about it could be learned, or is there more information out there that could be made public that we haven't heard about yet?
Well, I think from the investigations and from the investigation that CENTCOM did in particular around Abbey Gate, it was incredibly exhaustive, interviewing over 100 members that were on the ground and in this department to figure out what exactly happened. We, of course, welcome transparency. We welcome accountability. We are accountable to Congress, and that is why we submitted the AAR when we did. That's also why CENTCOM led the investigation and interviewed the many people that were involved in the evacuation. And so we feel confident in our efforts to get to the truth, to get to the facts, and of course, what we think about as we are coming up on the 2-year anniversary is the service members, the civilians who dedicated their lives in Afghanistan. And so that's something that we're thinking about around the 2-year anniversary as we close out the month of August. I think I said